What's going on, guys? Antonio here. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up for me, and let's get into it. All right, so we're on Instagram on Too Cool to Blog. It's another. I follow several of these like hip hop gossip blogs, because they give me good ideas for video content and whatnot. I made the video a few days ago about 50 Cent and DJ Academics, and they were going at Meek Mill. That video is, of course, still up. I see it has over 600 views on it. So, like I'm a small channel. So when I get those type of views, it's a good thing. And I appreciate everybody that checked that video out. It's still up, though. But a person that was inserted into the back and forth between 50 Cent and Meek, and then Academics chimed in because Meek Mill had put out that Academics was someone who had SA'd. If I'm trying to, like I said, I had to be careful with my words. There was a young woman that had come to Academics' home a little over 2 years ago. Academics had been drinking. He flew this woman in. They had been hooking up every few months for a while. He had mentioned that for like about a 2-year period. They would hook up, he'd fly her out, they'd hook up, and she'd go back home, he'd take care of her or whatever. So she had flown in for this particular, she was going to stay there for like about a week or so. And he was drinking. He had 2 of his friends over there. And while he was asleep, the young lady hooked up with not one, but both of the 2 gentlemen. Academics woke up. He said the young woman was acting strange, but, he said something just didn't feel right. So he was like, and he went through his surveillance footage. He went through his video camera, and because if, he's shown certain videos from his house, he actually has not only video in all the rooms in his house, including his outside of his home in the backyard where his pool is. And he also has those cameras mic'd for audio. So he has video and audio in all the rooms in his home, just to make sure, if something pops off, he can do it. But the woman is caught in 4K doing some stuff. She was having a triple threat match with these 2 gentlemen that were Academics' friends. Academics saw the video. He said he tried to give her a chance to come clean. And then, she was like, no, everything's fine. And then he just finally admitted to her, I've got you on video doing such and such with these 2 guys. And there's a video of it. She panics. She lets the police know, hey, this guy's saying he's got a video of me doing this. They kick Academics' door in. Which he said, even though it ended up, he ended up getting cleared of everything because he cooperated, he gave them footage, and she was claiming that what happened with the 2 gentlemen was not consensual after Academics said he got video of it. And she, he's got all the text messages, he's turned everything over to them. Like I said, this happened over 2 years ago, but Rolling Stones published an article just a few days ago, which was trending, that Academics had a lawsuit against him from this young woman, and it's a civil lawsuit, not a criminal lawsuit. She's trying to get money from him. And so that's why Meek Mill said the R-word allegations against Academics, because the woman said that it wasn't just his friends, it was Academics that did something to her as well. And and then obviously he jumped in on the 50 Cent thing, because according to Meek, 50, and actually I believe Meek, because Meek is associated with Rick Ross, and even though him and Meek have done shows together and they've tried to be cool, 50 at the end of the day, he don't like Rick Ross, and if you with Rick Ross, he don't care. So I understand if Meek felt 50 was trolling him, that he would want to respond when the Academics received a diss song from Christian Combs, aka King Combs, and the song was clearly had some disses directly at 50 Cent, because 50 Cent has been posting a lot of 50 Cent don't like Diddy. And obviously you dissing the man's father, so he gave Academics the diss track, and Academics played it on stream. Everybody clipped it, and it started going all over. Oh, and then 50 Cent got in. He started going in on King Combs, and that's when Meek Mill got involved, and he said, you know, he started saying some stuff about, but this gentleman here, this guy here, zoom in on him. This guy is low key, and he works for Apple Music. He works under Ebro Darden, who also works for Hot 97 in New York. But this guy low key is one of the people that work for in the hip hop media section of Apple. Now, Meek didn't know who this guy was. So when the guy saw 50 Cent clowning King Combs, and everybody, it was a lot of, certain things was going back and forth on social media, and Meek inserted himself. It seemed out of the blue that Meek Mill jumped in when he wasn't the one getting dissed. And this brother said, "Hey, brother, stand down, back out of it." Meek did not know who this guy was. Although, now this podcast here, let me see, can I actually play something?
What happened with you and Meek, man?
So last night, watching the games, and Christian and 50 going back and forth.
That's King Combs.
And Meek decides to insert himself in said conversation. And all I said was, Meek, please stand down.
Yeah, that's his please.
You
said please?
I said, Meek, please stand down.
So
I didn't say anything crazy.
Polite. He's so polite.
I didn't disrespect him. I didn't call him out his name. I didn't say nothing about his music. I didn't say nothing about his issues with Drake or whatever the case is. Nothing. I just said, yo, please stand down. Because he was tweeting a bunch of whole shit about Fifth and his kid and this, that, and the third. I'm like, yo, bro, this don't got nothing to do with you. Please stand down. I wake up this morning, hear this. Yo, what you do? I didn't do anything. I just said, please stand down. Because it literally,
so basically, bro. Meek is now saying, besides hating him that, and then somehow.
Okay, well, there's more to it, but actually go watch. Ebro has a podcast that also comes out. I think it comes out on Apple TV, and it's obviously on the Apple. Now, Ebro Darden, if you don't know who that is, like I said, he worked for Hot 97, but he was like the vice president or the vice whatever. He was a big wig over at Hot 90, vice president of programming at Hot 97. Up until like 2014, he had that position, but he took the position at Apple. He still works for Hot 97, but he took the position at Apple of global editorial, head of global editorial for hip hop and R&B at Apple Music. So Ebro Darden is one of the most powerful people especially in the hip hop media space. And this guy low key that Meek started going in on works for him. Now, like I said, Meek deleted a lot of these tweets. And like this guy here, so this guy apparently, like I said, he reveals, I watched the clips are a lot longer. That's why I'm saying actually go listen to it. But he actually he was trying to clown this brother, talking about you look, clowning the way he was dressed. He had like some torn jeans. He had like kind of a hip hop look. Cause I remember when everybody, he's in New York. He's got the fitted on. He's got the, kind of, some nice kicks and some torn jeans. He's got that rugged look. It's not cause he's broke. This guy is not broke. And when you got a new, Meek's got more music coming, this guy is going to have a say-so on if you get put on the playlist. Academics always has the guy called Cherry on his podcast. If you don't know who Carl Cherry is, Carl Cherry is the global head of hip-hop and R&B playlists at Spotify. And in particularly, Carl Cherry is in charge of the Rap Caviar playlist. If you have Spotify and you listen to hip hop, then most likely you know about the Rap Caviar. It's the biggest hip hop playlist. It has almost 16 million monthly listeners. So when Academics used to have Tekashi 6ix9ine on all the time, and then Tekashi got into all those legal issues, he was pulled from Apple and Spotify's playlist. They kept his music on the platform, but they pulled him from the playlist. And like I said, Rap Caviar has almost 16 million people listening to it every month. So if they take your songs off their playlist, you're losing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of streams. So this guy here that Meek thought was a bum was actually somebody that can hurt him and affect his career. And one of the things 50 Cent and Soulja Boy, when Meek was going at both of them, the thing they were clowning is that Meek's last album sold 6,000 records. And matter of fact, according to Academics, it was really just a little over 4,800 records, but he rounded up because what happens is the record companies will give out promo streams of the album and stuff like that. And so he rounded up and said 6,000, but he said it was really only a little over 4,800 streams. Academics said that two nights ago on his stream. But this is more about, hey, be careful who you diss, because like I said, he deleted a bunch of these tweets. His energy changed when he realized who the guy was, because he thought the guy was just a fan going, yo, Meek, stand down, bro. And then he realized this nobody is a somebody, and he's connected to Ebro. And matter of fact, he even said, like I said, he's sitting there talking to Ebro on this podcast. And he said, Ebro would say it in person or via anything. That's how we build respect, with no violence or shouting, bro. It's not aggressive. Basically saying my mind while minding my business. 50 just post my son a week ago. That day I felt like saying something. So, like I said, he's saying, and I believe him, that 50 Cent was trolling and posted Meek Mill's son, right? And so when he saw 50 Cent going at Christian Combs, aka King Combs, after King Combs gave Academics the diss track that had a couple of bars toted at him, he started, like I said, 50 went into troll mode again. It was, dissing his dad, dissing him. He posted up a picture of Christian Combs kissing his dad on the cheek and all the, with all the allegations with Diddy. So that's why, and then Meek hopped in and, like I said, he threw a couple of shots at Academics, and the whole thing just went, and then Academics went in. And, it was right after the Rolling Stone article happened, and Meek said something. Like I said, he deleted a bunch of that stuff, but he was clowning this guy, and then he found out that the guy was actually somebody. So and they had actually met in person. I guess someone told him and said, yo, you met this guy. And he was like, well, you didn't have an energy towards me when we were in the same room and blah, blah, blah. And like I said, you just heard him say some of the same stuff there. But that's why a lot of this stuff happened the other day. And Academics has talked about this with Meek. Meek will diss someone if he thinks they're just a peon and that they don't have no clout and they're not any, that kind of thing. And then when he messes up and they realize he messed up, someone that works social media, someone on the PR side that works with Meek will try to reach out, because Academics said that Meek said he was going to come to Academics' home and pee on his steps, and and he said other things were going, he, like I said, he deleted all that because Meek's still on probation. Everybody forget. He said other things were going to happen when he saw Academics, right? And some people, were trolling me. Like I said, it's just not a good look altogether. But, Academics said people that represented Meek were like, yo, man, this is a misunderstanding. We don't have problems with you. I think he was just upset and he took the tweets down. Like I said, this was just a misunderstanding. But Academics has said there is no more squashing it. He's gonna stay on Meek till the day he dies. Now, he said, he squashed it with Meek before because of the 21, his connection to 21 Savage. 21 says that Academics is an actual friend of his, not, and, Academics says 21 Savage is a friend of his, and 21 Savage is also friends with Meek, and he felt like he was being put in a position to have to pick between his two friends, so he asked Ac and Meek to have a conversation. They did. Ac, and they squashed it, and they didn't have any words for about 2 years. But Ac said when Meek talked to him, even though they were squashing it, he felt like Meek was still disrespecting him, and that he only took the phone call not because he wanted to squash it, but because of his relationship with 21 Savage. So he was like, he was already talking to me with disrespect. So even though we said we called a peace treaty, it wasn't real because there was never any respect behind it. So if you disrespect me, that's what it was. So it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, I thought this was interesting, so that's why I make the video. Sometimes you talk to people and think I see celebrities do that all the time. Like they'll tweet at somebody, somebody will tweet at them and they'll be like, man, you don't know nothing, you broke, go work your job or whatever. And that person ends up being somebody that is not broke and, owns companies, or they've done business with that person or whatever. And this happened to be one of those situations with this guy where, Meek got upset that the guy asked him, to stay out of this because this was about 50 Cent and his relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. And instead, Meek took offense, and then he went back and forth, and then he found out who the guy really was. And then he was like, well, you didn't say that when you was in the room with me, and you didn't do this, and blah, 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 and the whole thing. But so he went on the podcast with Ebro and Nessa and explained how the situation popped off. But like I said, I think it's on YouTube, but if not, you can get it on Apple. If you got Apple, you can listen to the podcast and listen to this guy explain how him and Meek got into it. But that's also, like I said, Meek explaining why he jumped into the situation between King Combs and 50 Cent. That's it. Get it if you're still here. Appreciate you. We want you here. Give me a follow. Facebook, Instagram. I'm on X. I'm on Threads, all at Ikari Press. Type in IkariPress.com. It takes you to my book, Brand Way of the Gun. Link to that and the link to my Gumroad in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out.